Primarily for O-rings, the measurements we are concerned with are 3 dimensions: the ID, inner diameter, the outer diameter, and the width of the material itself. If we are only given 2 of the dimensions, we can figure out the third. Here we have a P100 O-ring. P is one of the JIS, or Japanese Industrial Standard. This would be a metric O-ring. To measure the width, we're just on the outer ring of this part. The other very important part, of course, is our ID, or inner diameter. With a pair of calipers, bring it all the way on out, and we'll see that we're getting up to about 100 millimeters. Of course, the back side, much as such. There are a few different types of O-ring. JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard, or AS, American Standard. AS 568 will be the American Standard call-out that you'll have, along with a 3-digit code that will notate the measurement that is used for the particular O-ring. Of course, provided we can find that. The JIS, we have anywhere from P's, G's, and S's. Those will all be in metric. Of course, same thing. Inner diameter, outer diameter, width of the material, and we'll be able to find it. A few different ways to tell a viton from a standard O-ring would be the color, the sheen, and the feeling of the particular unit you're looking at. Vitons might be a little more supple. They'd have a maybe even a different color, say brown or blue, depending on the brand that you might have. And then, of course, there's a particular sheen that might be on the O-ring as well that would notate that it is treated for high temperatures. Depending on the dimensions between the AS 568 or the JIS, we can most certainly cross in between the two as long as the dimensions do line up. Each O-ring has a specific tolerance at which it can be used for multiple purposes, as long as it lies in between the tolerance point. There are a few different types of O-ring standard. Often you'll have a 70 durometer, which is the most common in use. Of course, and we have a 90 durometer, which is a slightly harder rubber, as opposed to the 70 durometer, which is rated up to 3,000 psi. The 90 durometer is a little bit more resistant at a 5,000 psi. Beyond both of these, there is a viton, which is a high temperature tolerance. The temperature tolerance of a viton O-ring would go up to 400 degrees. So any high temperature application, I would use the viton O-ring. There are some special types, EPDM or a food safe type of O-ring that you might run into contact with. Keep in mind in any of these special applications, food safe or otherwise, that you get the correct O-ring or seal for the job, as we want to be sure that everyone remains safe. It would be a good idea to replace your O-ring and backup ring, as the backup ring needs to be in good condition to improve retention on the O-ring in case of any issues, pinch points, otherwise. It will really help act as a spacer in between your machine and the seal that the O-ring is providing. Any O-ring has a tolerance on where it can stretch or compress, whether or not you need to take it over a lip to fit into the slot, it will then seal, or if it would be inside an environment where it would be compressed to keep a liquid or oil sealed inside. With any O-ring questions, feel free to give us a call. As long as we know the inner diameter, outer diameter, and the width, we should be able to find you the proper size. Of course, we'll keep in mind any 70, 90 durometer or viton use that you might need, and we probably have it in stock at the ready.